Welcome into SLA, Mitch Mortaza. Joining you once again from our studios in San Clemente, California. Our beautiful fire-soaked studios. Across from me, we've got Alex Saxon.
What's going on?
Back on the show, still in his seat. And then Alex Montone.
Hi.
Hey guys, so how was your Labor Day weekend?
Had a birthday.
Was your birthday?
Yesterday.
Wait, wasn't it the last show that we were supposed to go out or do something?
You were supposed to crack that bottle of champagne for me.
Oh, so that was this weekend. How'd you celebrate?
I went to Las Vegas and then to Palm Springs.
I hope pictures.
Yeah.
I'll run some of them right here. All right.
Any gambling?
A little gambling.
So you
money.
lost, no gain?
Yes, correct.
What about you, Saxon? What'd you do?
I was in North Carolina for a wedding. My first time being a groomsman for
So
one of my
quite
best
a
friends.
haul across country.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good.
Yeah?
Super humid. And kind of a bit of a culture shock. So first time back on the East Coast in 4 years.
Well, you're from Virginia Beach,
Yep.
my neck of the woods. I'm in Northern Virginia. You were in Southern Virginia. So we were kind of used to that. It's
Yeah.
20 years ago for me. But how was it? Who got married?
My buddy Colin and Cheyenne. Longtime friends. Beautiful wedding. A lot of close friends. It was good to see a lot of good people.
Black suit, I'm imagining, or what?
I look sharp.
It was actually
no,
gray.
Alex probably dressed for like a funeral.
Yeah,
What did you wear?
I actually wore gray. And
You wore gray.
probably the nicest thing I've ever worn in my life.
Yeah.
So that was also another shock.
Yeah, for me, man, we went to Shaver Lake. Obviously, we were talking outside the studio and you guys came in. It's been nuts. I thought it was just overcast. I typically go for a run in the morning. I kind of nixed that this morning. And I just thought it was overcast. But now we can literally see outside the windows here, and it's completely yellow. We've been decimated here in California with the fires, and it affected me directly, man. We went to Shaver Lake Friday. Knowing Sunshine, our trusty field producer, is from that area. Called him. I said, hey, what do you think about Shaver Lake? He said, it's awesome. Might be bad conditions up there because of other fires. So we went Friday, had a blast. The whole family went down. We had an awesome house right on the water. I made my famous lamb chops, which were phenomenal, and cigar, vino, everything's going well. We wake up the next morning to go get breakfast, my brother-in-law and I. And we looked for a spot on the beach. We found that. And then as we're looking to the left, I see this giant white cloud. And it didn't look like a normal white cloud. So I didn't want to ask the question. I don't know much about my fires. He does. I said, hey, listen, what is that? He goes, that's a fire. And it got yellow and yellow and yellow. And it didn't freak anybody out besides us. We took off, went back to the house, talked to everybody about the situation. Hey, what do you guys want to do? And half the house wanted to stay. That lasted for about 10 seconds. When all of the electricity in Shaver Lake shot off because of the fire. So anyways, it got nuts. Luckily, we got out of there safe. There was quite a bit of traffic getting out of there. But we did. Some people stayed behind and had to be rescued by military choppers. I think Blackhawks. I mean, it got really intense. So, my thoughts are with all the firefighters. I'm sure you guys as well, because it has been... We talked to one of the fire patrol there. They said we are at 0% capacity right now, which means if we have any other fires, there won't be anybody to fight it. And the one that started here started with some kind of a gender reveal pyrotechnic thing. Did you guys hear about that?
Unfortunately.
A little bit.
I mean, come on, guys. In California with dry brush, you're going to do pyrotechnics out there. So anyways, that was my Labor Day weekend. Didn't mean to bring it down. You guys had a little
back.
more.
And you're here. Good job.
You guys had a little more fun than I did. On the show, we've got Lynzi Anderson, who's a great rookie running back with the Seattle Thunder. Great to see her working out a little bit with Stevie Schnorr, longtime running back in the LFL, of course. Very storied career there. So I think she's kind of taken her under her wing. We'll talk to her about that, certainly. Then we got in-studio guests. A pair of popular sisters, I would say, the Lopez sisters, Marissa and Mariah Lopez. So they're going to join us, talk about LA Black Storm, how that offseason's going. So a lot to cover. And speaking of that, we will announce our first TV deal right now as well. Hopefully this will be a many this offseason. Sony Pictures Television. Obviously, that's a blue chip brand. Okay, so they do film, they do television, they do everything. They're going to spread us all through Europe. So they are an amazing broadcaster out there, great footprint, lays the groundwork for what we're planning to do in Europe in the coming years. So very excited about that partnership that was announced before the show. That's something that's going to, I think, catapult us to the next level. And then, as I mentioned in the previous show, we have a production house on board. I can't announce the name just yet, but that's going to be coming next. The hope is that we will have a major docu on Netflix or Amazon Prime, and they've done work with both of them. Very excited about that. So hopefully that comes next episode. Let's talk about something else that came out that was a bit controversial, I think raised a few eyebrows. That was the off-season team power rankings. I think people misunderstood what this was. This is not necessarily how good each team is right now. It's how hard every team is working right now. Okay, so that's a big difference.
What's it based off of? Like, what are the parameters?
So basically, I've been in direct contact with all the coaches all off-season. So I know who's working and who isn't working. And then we've have a couple people with X-League Wire, who's our kind of our information platform, if you will. They've been monitoring social media. They've been talking to a lot of the athletes to kind of gauge who's working off season and who isn't working this off season. So that's what this list really was based on. I mean, if you look at it here, no real surprise at the top. You've got Austin Sound. A lot of this list is dictated by the leadership at the top, I think. Who's the head coach? That usually signifies how strong of a foundation you have. And with the Austin Sound with Coach Mike Oliveira, it doesn't get any better than that. So they're at number one. Surprisingly, the Chicago Blitz, I mean, we've talked rave reviews about Sid Lewis and that whole crew, but, they're really doing it out there. You get to see them working despite weather. They've had some pretty extreme weather in Chicago. They've been out there. The Los Angeles Black Storm, we'll talk to the Lopez sisters. They're coming in at number 3. I like what Coach Derry's doing there. That was one of the big setbacks with the former LFL and that franchise is that, it didn't seem like there was a lot of structure within the coaching ranks in terms of having an off-season program. He's really kind of bit down on that, hence Los Angeles being at number 3. No surprise again, Atlanta Empire at number 4 with Dane Robinson. We all know what he's all about. He's all about that franchise. That does not surprise me. And then number 5, the Kansas City Force. No history there whatsoever. Really, there's no much history with any of these teams now. But with the Kansas City Force, you are looking. We've had Cheyenne Verdorn on the show. We've had Ashley McLaughlin, their quarterback. We haven't had her on, but there's just a list of great athletes on that team, led by Mark White. So he's the head coach, and he's really instilled a great culture there, I think. Denver Rush. They're going through a little bit of a turmoil right now, right? Because there's a transition with the head coach. We talked about Matt Mellon not being there anymore. So I think they've kind of, that stymied their growth this offseason. So hopefully we can make a move there pretty quick in hiring his replacement. And I think the biggest surprise to everybody was the Seattle Thunder.
That's a shocker.
And we'll talk to Lynzi Anderson about that. It's surprising because Coach Chris Michelson usually has the most regimented offseason of anybody, but they haven't done anything.
As far as like team workouts?
Literally. They've done, I think, a team meeting, and that's it.
Are they just that good they don't need to practice?
I've seen some of the players do like solo workouts, but I haven't seen any group. I mean, when you're a team, you kind of need the whole team there to practicing.
Yeah. So. I mean, even, and granted, look, COVID's taken a hit with everybody. You've got athletes spread all across the country. I know with the Seattle team, they have a couple athletes in Canada who couldn't cross over even if they wanted to during COVID. So that factors into it. I think it's kind of scary for any coach to think that he can just turn it on in January, especially when these teams have been working out for the last 6 months. Chicago started, Coach Sid Lewis told us, the month after the 2019 LFL season. So, I think there's a bit of, complacency in Seattle, and I would not be shocked at all if they get smacked in the face when the season starts, because the rest of these teams are really working out. And I think you got a few veterans there that have a lot of football experience, think that they can just walk in. They have no sense of how much some of these other teams are working, especially some of the young bucks. When you look around the league, the Anisha Shawleys, who's relatively new to the game, and we talked about, Cheyenne Verdorn. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I don't think you can just be an autopilot and come in January
We'll find out.
and expect to be a good football team. So the Seattle Thunder at number 7, and then you've got the Omaha Red Devils at number 8. Again, the head coach had to step down, and that was Dante Allen, and then Cale Good was supposed to step in. I don't think that's going to work out. So there's going to be a new coaching regime there, more than likely, because that team needs structure. If there's a team out there that needs structure and guidance, it's the Omaha Red Devils. And, at some point, you got to take pride in yourself. I know this is just an off-season power ranking. It's on paper. It doesn't mean anything. But I would, if I was a coach or a player, I'd take notice of this and go, what am I doing wrong that the rest of the league is doing right? So, that's the negative of it. I think the positive is you've got a vast majority of the league working their butt off this offseason. And we're trying to bring attention to those guys. And the football gods don't lie. We've heard it time and time again. If you played high school football, college football, your coaches have told you, you may fool me here. Once we get out on the football field, everything's going to be exposed. So that's something that I hope they're taking very seriously, the teams that are struggling. So that's your off-season team power rankings. Now something kind of like the uniform that everybody tuned in for is the 2021 schedule. Now, we worked our butt off to get this thing together much earlier than previous years. Previous years, it didn't come out till December almost. We made it a big ticket sale for the holidays, etc. It's October. So we've got our 2021 schedule. We'll put it up here. And you could see it's a doozy at the top. April 3rd, and I use the word doozy, Easter weekend.
You're not going to go through every date, are you?
Everyone, guys, get your paper and pencil. Michelle Angel comes home from Southern California to take on the LA Black Storm April 3rd here in Ontario. Then we have the earliest bye week I've ever seen, week 2. And that, Montone, you guys get a chance to kind of catch up a little bit, see what you did wrong week 1 to improve before we get back out there.
Now
or what we did right.
already fired.
Or what you did right.
This guy.
Damn.
Off-season power rank has got me a little skewed.
I know, you ranking us too?
Where are you guys ranked in that?
Jeez.
I think Sunshine comes in as a solid number 5. Are you back with us, Sunshine? Are you feeling okay? Do you want to come in and tell people what you went through or how excited you are to be back?
I'm so excited.
Come on back.
Come on in.
So what happened? Why'd you miss the show, man?
A couple ER visits here and there, but feeling great now and
Good.
Glad to be back.
Not the corona, something else?
No, definitely something else.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back.
Thank you.
Usual 3-second spot.
Now leave.
And you're out.
So then, I'm not going to go through all these, but you can see it here on screen. You've got the Atlanta Empire going to Chicago. That'll be an outdoor game early April. We will see how the weather cooperates. We've seen everything early April in Chicago. And then April 24th, we're in Denver. That's a good game. KC and Denver. One of those teams are going to start out 1-0. So that's going to be a huge moral boost to either of those teams. And then Austin, Omaha, so on and so forth. Look, the matchups, I think, are a lot more closer tied up. You're seeing Denver, KC play twice. You're seeing Chicago, Austin, Seattle, LA. The teams that are going to beat up on one another are going to be the power teams. The secondary teams are going to have an opportunity to sneak into the playoffs. They're going to have some opposition that's going to be closer aligned to them. So I'm really excited about this schedule. The playoffs are in Los Angeles, August 28th. And then the X Cup, the first ever X Cup, September 11th. Right now it looks like it's going to be in Miami, Florida. Ooh, so we will be in South Beach, X Cup weekend. X Cup weekend. It's like saying the San Diego Chargers. Yeah. Trying to get it out of my head.
Still getting used to it.
Yeah. So that's the schedule, guys. Now you know where you're traveling to, what cities and all that good stuff. Tickets go on sale October 6th. Okay? At 12 o'clock Eastern, nationally across the country, you can buy your X League tickets at all the arenas and stadiums, as well as online, obviously. There's COVID precautions built into the ticket sales, just like there was in the last round. So if you buy your tickets for whatever reason, we can't host the 2021 season, it's a full refund. Okay? That is the schedule rundown. Now, next segment, we're going to bring in another rookie, because honestly, there are a lot of great rookies in this league, and I want to try to get through most of them this offseason. Lynzi Anderson. I want to see how tall she is. She strikes me as a small-sized running back, but she is an athlete. So when we come back, we're going to sit down with Lynzi Anderson of the Seattle Thunder. When we come back, SLA. Welcome back in, SLA, episode 4 from San Clemente, California. Now, our first guest, Lynzi Anderson, is a rookie running back with the Seattle Thunder. We've seen her in all her workout videos, so we know she's one of the more dedicated ones up there. So I'm curious how she reacts to that low ranking for the Seattle Thunder this offseason, because she certainly appears to have done her part at least. So we'll talk about that and some other things. Without any further delay, let's bring her in. Let's talk to Miss Lynzi Anderson. Lynzi, welcome to SLA, your first ever appearance on the show, the first time the fans are going to see you. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Now, you're where? You're not in Seattle. You're in Canada, correct?
Correct, yes. I live in Vancouver.
My favorite part of Canada, not to cut you off. What is it? Is it Whistler that's up there? You would know that.
No, I have no idea.
No? What's the big snow resort up in BC?
Yeah, there's a couple in Whistler, and then we have some also in Vancouver, some local mountains, but not as good as Whistler.
All right, let's talk football. Let's talk athletics. Now, you're obviously, there's no question, anybody that's seen your training videos, you are a pure athlete. So talk to us about what your athletic background is and how has it been to transition to football?
Okay, so I originally used to live on the east coast of Canada. I got contracted with the National Women's Sevens rugby team. Played with them for a year on a contract, and then I traveled the world with them, which was an amazing experience. Being an athlete is part of me, and when I got cut from the Sevens team, I stuck around Vancouver, and I kept training with them, and I was on the cusp, and I was invited to all the camps and never just getting selected. So I needed to find something to make a career for myself. So I'm a firefighter now, which is amazing.
What are you doing this weekend? Can you come to California?
For real.
I might need backup.
We're actually smoky from you guys.
Oh, really? That's a pretty intense. Football-wise. So you have worked out a little bit. Obviously, rugby is your primary background. How have you brought that game over to football? Obviously, there's some correlation there between the two sports, but has it been an easy transition to football?
So it was easy transition to running back. Especially because for football you have blockers, so you can run off their butts, whereas rugby, that gap closes much quicker. So I'm very fortunate for our line blocking and not letting us get touched, so that was nice transition. But it's definitely more physical with the tackling.
We've seen that you've been working out with the Bull, Stevie Schnorr. Obviously she has a lot of background in football at this point, has played it at the highest level, has won the individual awards, has won a championship or a couple championships. How has that been to really kind of have your mentor be someone that's so accomplished in the game?
It's amazing. I couldn't ask for a better mentor. She finished championship, MVP of the league, MVP of the game. So I honestly am so blessed to have her in my life, especially because since I do live in Canada, I can't make Seattle training every time, so I'm falling behind. I felt like I was falling behind, but with Stevie, I could call her, bring her over. We can talk defense, we can talk offense. She knows the whole game so well, not just running back, not just strong safety. She knows every position, so that's been amazing.
Cool. Now, have you had a chance to kind of meet with Coach Chris Michelson at all, and get an idea for the legend that he is and what he's going to bring to you as a football player? Because obviously you're so raw. You've never really played tackle football before, and now you're learning from Stevie Schnorr and someone of the stature of Chris Michelson. So what are your thoughts on Coach?
I like Coach. He's intense. He tells you how it is. I like that. I don't like when people beat around the bush, and he tells me what I need to do, and I do it. I'm committed, and I worked hard. I was driving 3 hours almost every weekend to try to keep up and learn, and I'm fighting for a starting spot, and I want that starting spot. He can talk quick. There's a lot to know. There's a lot of studying, but like I said, I have Stevie to go back towards, and I studied at work. I studied before bed. There's a lot of studying to do, much more than I had thought.
Yeah, he's been known to have the biggest playbook in the league, so it's certainly not going to be a very simple offense. I know from previously when we were with the LFL, he was recognized for that he was one of the more challenging coaches in the league in terms of learning his playbook, He would push you to your limits. So, yeah, I think, for you have to learn the game physically, and then your biggest challenge is probably going to be mentally coming into this game and learning and absorbing that playbook and applying it. So, luckily you're young. I don't think this is going to be your first and only year playing the game, so it's going to come to you as time goes on. So, I don't know, did we miss anything with Miss Lynzi Anderson that you wanted to maybe chime in? Or
So Stevie is the bull. Are you going to be the young calf?
Oh, yeah.
My dad called me the mini bull.
The mini bull. Okay.
Are we going to – I think I like the young calf better.
I like the young calf.
The young calf might just stick.
We're going to have to see a game, her first game.
I don't know if girls want to be called calves, but yeah, the young calf.
Sounds like a rap name. Young calf.
Yeah, young. It's YUNG.
Yeah.
Young
Yeah.
calf.
Well, listen, Lynzi, thank you for taking the time. I know this is a really tough time for everybody in their lives with COVID and juggling work and everything. And best of luck to you this offseason. I know the offseason power rankings was a challenge for you guys. As I was mentioning, I think in talking to Coach Michelson a month or so ago, he said the biggest thing has been, as far as it being tough to get the team together, especially because, you've got 2 or 3 athletes in Canada and the restrictions on them coming over to the States. So hopefully that turns around a little bit and you guys are able to get together more as a team, because obviously the importance of the offseason and especially when there's so many new faces every year on every team. Even in the NFL, there's a lot of turnover. So there's got to be that chemistry that builds, especially with somebody at a running back position. And who knows? I mean, it looks like KK Matheny is going to be the quarterback, and obviously she brings a lot of experience to the position. But there's timing issues that have to be worked out. Who are going to be the upfront blockers? I know Katie Whelan is expected to be back. She's obviously an incredible center. Who are going to be the tight ends? So a lot of unanswered questions. But you do have the best chemist in the league, I think, with Chris Michelson. So if anybody can pull it off, it's going to be Coach Michelson.
Definitely, I agree. He knows what he's talking about. He's a very brilliant man.
Well, we'll let you go. Enjoy Canada. We'll be down here burning in hell in California. We may need you this weekend to step in, put your gear on, come out here, and help us out a little bit. So you guys don't have any COVID. You're all nice people, and you have no fires. Why are we not living in Canada?
Yeah.
Maybe that's where we're moving to.
All right, Lynzi, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Talk to you soon, Lynzi. That is Lynzi Anderson, running back for the Seattle Thunder. One of the good news that we didn't discuss with her is the strength of schedule. We just released the schedule. Seattle has the second easiest schedule in the league next to the Kansas City Force. Kansas City has the easiest schedule. So they're going to have an opportunity to win some ball games and get into the playoffs, and then it's anybody's ball game, right? So that is Lynzi Anderson. Great to take some time with her. Next up, we're going to get you guys out of those seats. And I know that really hurts you guys. It started with Danny Bonilla when he sat across.
It's becoming a trend. What's going on here, Mitch?
Come on, you guys added all the 7 words this show. We've got the Lopez sisters, Marissa and Mariah Lopez, joining us when we come back. Suite Level Access. Welcome back to SLA. Your host, Mitch Mortaza. I got rid of the uglies and prettied up the studio a little bit. We've got the Lopez sisters, very popular sisters in the former LFL and hopefully now at the X League. Marissa Lopez. I finally, as you guys are walking in, I'm starting to recognize who is who. That's Marissa Lopez, right? And that's Mariah Lopez.
Yes.
Welcome to the show, ladies.
Thank you for having us.
Now, you guys are locals. You're from L.A.
We're from Dallas, Texas. We live in Sherman Oaks.
You live in Sherman Oaks.
Mm-hmm.
How have you guys spent your summer? I mean, I know the COVID thing has kind of put a damper on everybody's summer, but how have you guys spent it?
Right. We've been working out, trying to get more in tune with our bodies and relaxing actually too.
Yeah.
Just trying to recover as well.
Now, you played free safety, Marissa, from what I remember, and you took on some hits or gave out some hits.
Right.
You're pretty good playing safety. We're going to touch on the fact that you're going to play quarterback, or at least be slated to play quarterback in 2021. So how's that going to impact playing safety too? Are they going to move you out of there? So we'll talk about that in a second. Outside of the X League, you guys are pretty active with your own brand, as I understand. It's called the Football Sisters.
Yes.
What is that all about?
It's all about inspiring women to lead by action, pursue through passion, and commit with heart in all that you do. So through that, we have our merchandise online on the website, www.thefootballsisters.com.
and you can watch all of our games from the LFL. And then we also are the first female football coaches in North Hollywood.
No kidding.
Yes.
What level? What level are you guys
fourth
coaching?
grade, so it's private school.
Okay, so that's good. Honestly, the impact of women in football now, especially at the pro level, we're seeing it in the NFL with all the coaches arising. There's been a great influence there, and obviously it's building, and we're going to try to do our part at the X League to elevate women as well to become coaches. That's something we wanted to do when I ran the former LFL. We just didn't have a lot of women with experience at that point. If you guys obviously remember Monique Gaxiola and others, and even I remember Heather Furr when she was with the Chicago Blitz. We tried to get them to move into coaching. A Jessica Hopkins in Seattle who did a little bit of that. Danica Brace, obviously, that ultimately made that leap. So, the cool thing now is that, there's going to be some kind of a pathway for these women where they are not just going to be limited to flag football. You're going to be able to play tackle football at a high level. And this is going to be the highest platform. So I think you guys are going to have a great influence on that.
Yeah, we're super excited. And this platform has definitely helped us gain confidence in the coaching level that we're in.
Well, the influence that, a lot of our athletes had at the old LFL when I ran it, they couldn't believe it when I made publicity trips to Australia, Mexico, and other. They knew all the girls. They were like, I know Ashley Salerno. She's my favorite. I know Mo Gax. She's my favorite. Like, it's crazy, because a lot of people don't understand. We're on TV in a lot of other markets, and a lot of young people are watching now. So it's good that you guys are understanding the importance of being a role model, not just a football player. You're taking on a far greater responsibility than just football, right?
Right. Yes, that definitely means a lot to us as well.
And that really starts with the football product and knowing your craft, right? Now
Eat, breathe, sleep football.
Yeah, you did a pretty good job. As I remember in the previous LFL, you were. The last year, I think you were the offensive player of the year.
Yes.
Right? And that came out of nowhere because I remember Naz Johnson went down, right? Long time running back. Obviously, she's played on 11s. She played with the old LFL for a number of years. And everybody kind of counted Los Angeles out after that as far as being an offensive-minded team because there was not a lot of weapons there, especially there were lack of receivers, home run hit like a Naz Johnson. And then you stepped in and never looked back. So what was that transition like? How much did Naz help you come into that role?
Naz mentored me so much, and training with Ashley like all the time. Literally, she would hit us up like a day before, like, this location, come out. We're like, okay, we're there, both of us. Like, so Ashley's like training hands-on was like crucial to my development. Okay. And then Naz, like me and her will be on the phone for hours talking football.
Right, and we definitely had a vet line out there to help block and stuff like that to allow her to be able to do what she did.
Yeah. Well, you play recklessly without abandon. When you hit that line, there's no turn. What I like about you're not a scat back despite your size. You find a hole, you go north-south. You don't dance around a lot. I see a lot from our running backs of that, trying to find the hole. You find the hole and you go through
just
it.
Just quick.
Yeah, and it's tough to find you. You're a short stature running back. If you're like a safety or a lineman or something, it's tough to find where Mariah Lopez went. So we know what you bring to the table from a running back perspective. What we didn't expect is you. You were a hard-hitting safety with the old Los Angeles Temptation in the LFL. So I figured you would be a safety with the LA Black Storm, but apparently that's not the case.
Right.
And you're working out at quarterback.
Yes, sir. We're leveling up.
Yep.
There's at least 1-2 jealous quarterbacks who never got a chance to play at that level. This guy and Montone. Montone tried to play quarterback, and she was just as terrible as me, right? You were better than me.
We should have a competition.
We should. No, we're going to limit it to golf because I know you kicked my ass there. Oh, sure. Yeah, so quarterback. Talk to us about that's a big transition. But safety is also kind of the quarterback of the defense.
Right.
So from a leadership perspective, it should be similar, but from a fundamentals and skill set.
Different. Yes, it's a huge job. I stepped in and just want to help our team, whatever position that they have me at. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to learn and ready to be on the field.
Yeah, because I think, a lot of people expected Ashley Salerno to kind of slide into that spot. And then when she signed with the Seattle Thunder for the 2020 season, there was a huge vacancy there. And obviously quarterback is the most important position. And they say in all of sports, not just football. So I saw you throwing it there, and we've got video of you here kind of slinging it. Those are on a rope. That's tight. You're a lefty as well.
Yes, sir.
Right? So talk to us about, just the fundamentals. How comfortable are you in the pocket right now? And what is your range slinging it down the field? I mean, can you throw go patterns? Are they all slants at this point?
I've played softball all of my life growing up. I went to the Little League World Series 2 years in a row and things like that. So that has definitely helped me develop as a quarterback. I'm still learning. I still have a lot of work to put in as well. I'm getting a lot more comfortable. I play sand football as well. So it's helping me a lot get faster, get out of the pocket, move, and things like that. So I'm super excited to see what this journey is going to lead me.
So let's go back to how far you can throw it. How far can you throw?
She throws far.
I haven't actually
50 yards?
Yes.
Because our field is
Yes.
smaller, so as long as you can sling it 50
Right.
yards, we're good to go. I noticed you guys are developing a pretty big line up front, like it's very
Yes.
physical line.
Yes.
And we're still recruiting. We're still open to having people come and try out as well. We're always recruiting.
Well, it's a long time between now and January. I'm sure you guys are going to get a number of new faces.
Yeah.
But good for you guys in identifying, hopefully, the quarterback. We'll see if there's any competition there or you're going to run away with it. And as far as you at running back, I mean, what's your next goal? Obviously, this is a brand new league, new entity, new start. All the old championships with the LFL, the records are all out the window. So literally, we're building a new history book.
Yeah.
So what would be
Championship.
what
That's
would be
the
the
goal.
ideal? What would be the ideal season for you?
Championship all the way,
Yeah.
winning it all, and doing it as a team. So
And Los Angeles, as I recall, won the first 3 championships with the old LFL. So there's going to be that bit of pressure, and it's wide open because now we're looking at Austin, who looks pretty good this offseason.
Right.
Chicago is going to be vastly improved. Atlanta is always a challenge.
Yeah.
And you guys surprised everybody the last year of the LFL in the playoffs. Nobody expected you to make it to the Legends Cup.
right,
And
all
you,
heart.
Yeah, and you beat Austin, which I don't think they were number 1 throughout.
Yeah,
so.
that was
Yeah,
super
that was-
exciting. That was
a rough game.
Yeah,
Both
it was
games actually. They gave us. Yeah.
It was a great game.
great.
We
Very
were the
physical
underdogs,
games.
and we were ready to go out there and
Our captains.
risk it all.
Honestly, we owe it all to our captains. 'Cause
Right.
If it weren't for them, honestly, we wouldn't have gotten that far.
Now, talk to us about what Rory Derry's done. Obviously, he stepped into a new role as head coach. He hasn't done that before.
Yeah.
He's been an assistant for a number of years, so at least he knows the culture. But what has it been like? What kind of off-season program has Coach Derry built?
We definitely are on
FaceTime.
Zoom meetings all the time. Our rookies are learning the basics, and it's super awesome because that's something that we as rookies didn't have time to do. It was like you're in and you're ready to go. So right now we're set. We look good.
Ground up, literally.
Right.
Training from the ground up. And Rory's
And
been
our-
amazing.
Right, and
Him
our
the
coaches have
staff.
been great. The coaches that we have and that he's brought in have been amazing and just ready to teach us anything that we're ready to learn.
Now, this is a big show because we're releasing the schedule. So do you guys want to know who the 4 teams are that you're playing?
Yes.
That'd be awesome.
And I'll get you to react to it. The first one I think we announced, April
Austin.
3rd versus Austin.
Yes.
That is Easter weekend here in Ontario. So you guys open up the X League. We'll
That's
have
exciting.
a big musical performance, pyrotechnics. It's going to be a big kickoff to the season, okay?
Nice.
So Austin comes in, Michelle Angel, who you guys know pretty well,
Yes.
and they've been working their butt off. So that's your first game, April 3rd. Then May 22nd, you go to Seattle, okay? So
Yep.
that's always a formidable
Yeah.
matchup.
Yeah.
Now, I've got good news and bad news. Good news is hopefully we get a chance to play. It looks like we're going to have a vaccine. We're going to play. The bad news is you guys have the toughest schedule in the league because listen to this, okay?
We're ready.
You've got L.A. in Seattle May 22nd. Then June 26th, you return home to play Atlanta,
Okay.
which they've come here prior, and you guys have had pretty good success against them, from what I
Right.
recall. So you've got that, and then you wrap up the season July 23rd by going back to Atlanta.
Okay.
So it's a back
wow.
and forth. So they'll come out here, play you guys. You go out there. The good news is, like I said, you're spreading it out. It's 1 game per month, which not a lot of teams get to do. Some play back-to-backs. But those are pretty tough opponents. I mean, we scaled everything from 1 to 5. And some years you'll have 2. Some years you'll have 5. You guys are coming in at 5 with the toughest schedule in the league. So you can put that chip on your shoulder this offseason and go, you know what?
Definitely.
We
Go
got
hard.
the biggest challenge, right?
Right.
Well, honestly, I love what you guys are doing with football off the field,
Thank you.
right? Because we're looking for young athletes that are coming into this, not necessarily people who have been playing and maybe have a year or 2 left, but people that can join the journey like we did in 2009 and start fresh and build something new here. So, the off-season training with especially with the youngsters, getting women, young girls excited about the game of football. That's the future of the sport.
Exactly.
You know, and if we can't build that funnel system that'll eventually make it to the X League, what are we doing up here? So you guys are amazing. You lead by great example. You're at all the practices. I hear nothing but positive things from Coach Derry about you guys. You don't create a lot of drama in the locker room. We know LA's had plenty of drama. So if we could stay away from that, it'll make for a great off season. And that's, and that's it. So I'll leave it with this. What excites you guys the most about 2021, the season that's coming up, now that you know your schedule too?
The competition is going to be super exciting. It's definitely hard to beat a team twice, but we're ready, and it's going to be great to see the challenges that we're going to be able to face as leaders. So we're super excited. I think that we have a great team, a great set of coaches that we can definitely move on and be able to win that championship.
I still can't get you guys to say anything controversial. You guys are well coached up. This is like the Peyton Manning school of how you respond to questions. Excellent job. Excellent job. Well, thank you for joining us. We wanted to get you guys in studio. We knew you were in town, so appreciate you taking the time. As I said, this is a tough time for everybody to break out, especially with the fires and everything that's happening in California right now. I don't know how bad it is up there. But here it's, as you can see.
It was so hot last weekend. So, I mean, I'm pretty sure that broke out a lot of fires. And
110 or 108.
117 in Vancouver. So crazy.
We're in the valley, so it gets really hot out there.
My brother's in Porter Ranch, and I was out there visiting him last weekend or the weekend prior, and it was 110.
Oh, my goodness.
And it was pretty brutal. Here we freak out when it hits like 85. We just don't know what to do. We break out. So
you'd think we'd be used to it because we're from Texas, so it's like
no, we're not.
No, we've been in California way too long.
You're like California eyes for sure. Well, listen, thanks for being on the show. It was great having you guys. We'll check in with you as the season goes on, see how LA Black Storm is doing. The pressure is on. You're the number 3 ranked team right now in the offseason, and you have the toughest schedule going into 2021. Good news is you may have one of the better quarterbacks in the league now that nobody knew about, that suddenly appeared out of nowhere. And Mariah, we know we get with you as far as offensive firepower, so that's a good start.
Thank you.
Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks, guys. That is SLA, 4th episode in the books. Guys, do you want to say bye or anything? Montone and Sunshine and Saxon.
SLL goodbye.
For my co-hosts, Alex Montone, Alex Saxon, who did not earn their checks today. 7 words, I counted 8. And then we've got Mariah Lopez, of course, Lynzi Anderson from Seattle, our floor manager, Sunshine, who returned back to health. You want to come in and say goodbye?
Bye, guys.
That'll do it for us from San Clemente, California. Suite level access. We will see you in October. Don't have a date yet. See you guys soon.